What's going on, everybody? Citizen back again with another Alsace replay, the French Tier 9 battleship, and I'm going to be bringing you a replay on the Okinawa map. I am top tier, and I am feeling really sick when I'm recording this, so it's not going to be the most in-depth, detailed commentary. I will be taking some breaks here and there. So, we're going to go ahead and start out here on the south spawn and push the sea cap. And I highly recommend you never really go A on Okinawa. This is one of those maps where it has one cap that's pretty detrimental to your team winning. I really don't like how that is, but it's just the way it is, so you kind of have to play around it. So, recommend always pushing B and C, never really go A. Take some first shots at the York here. I did miss pretty badly, but I have, of course, rewarded with a nice Citadel and an overpen for 13,000 damage. So, that one felt pretty nice, just a miss and you get rewarded for it anyways, so. Go ahead and keep pushing over here. I will be pretty much leading the charge for my team a lot of this game. That is what I like to do with the Alsace, since you're just so fast you can do it. The key is to just realize when you're going to overextend, and you need to learn when to back off in that case. I do take some shots at the Fletcher here. I always try to shoot at DDs if given the opportunity, because they are so punishing to a battleship if you let them get away. And if they're on full health at the end of the game, they're very hard to get out. So he goes dark. Go ahead and take some shots at the hood. I do overmatch him, so he's a nice big juicy target to shoot at. Of course, the backup is the Alsace. It can be a little trolly at times, so you kind of just have to deal with it. The York pops up again, starts shooting at me, so I do put the front two guns on him. He is really far away, so I'm not going to be expecting much from this shot to happen. And of course, as we go ahead and look back in the shot, it's terrible dispersion, and we get the Citadel. We need it to finish him off, so 3 shells, 1 dead York. It's pretty fun, but whatever, it happens. So, going back to shooting at the hood, I'm going to have my turrets on a little bit of a front guns, then back gun every 10 seconds, so I don't like ripple firing like that, but I'm kind of just forced to in this situation. I was starting to back up because I didn't know how many other enemy ships were here, and I did see Yugi coming in, so I decided to speed boost and get out of here just to avoid hitting any unnecessary torpedoes. Take some more shots at the hood, get a nice 10k volley on 4 pens. Could have been more, but I'm not going to complain. I do see at this time that most of the enemy team is making a hard push into A, and like I said, that's something you really just want to avoid at all costs, and that will go ahead and bite the enemy team in the ass later on in this game. Take some more shots at the hood, only the back turret. I do have the secondaries on them, and they will go ahead and light some fires for me just because of the volume of shells that get pumped out of the side of the Alsace, so. I do also have to question why my Indianapolis is shooting exclusively AP at the hood. That's not going to do much damage there, guys. So go ahead and just keep the secondaries going on them and the main guns when they are loaded, because they do overmatch them in some places, so I can get some good damaging hits when I do land the shells. 3k may not seem much, but it does add up when you're not able to heal it all back. So enemy Hiryu does try to bring a strike in. Those planes are not going to be making it back to their carrier. That's just a suicide run when the amount of ships we have here. He does go ahead and get some torps off and back Stoker. And he does go ahead and get 1 lucky torpedo on our Indianapolis, but oh well, tier 7 cruiser. It's not the end of the world if we lose him, so. Go ahead and just keep pushing C. I am now the furthest ship ahead at this time, and I do realize that that could be a problem since the Fletcher is going to be the closest enemy ship to me. And you typically don't want to be the focus of a Fletcher. Those torpedoes are some of the deadliest in the game for any destroyer. And if you've ever gotten a Fletcher, or even a Changmu for that matter, you'll understand what I'm saying there. So, go ahead and make a hard turn in, because I am expecting torpedoes to come at me. And let's speak of the devil, here comes some Fletcher Peds. I am forced to eat one on the nose, but it's better than rep that flood. I have to. There's no way you can take flood damage in this game. Take some more shots at the hood. Hopefully I can finish him off with that salvo. It's only 8 guns, but we were so close to finishing him off. Leave him on 1,263 health. Almost, but not quite. Enemy Hiryu does come in with the dive bombers, and I was a little worried here because I don't have the Epicon. A little bit saved by RNG right there. Go ahead, get the front guns reloaded. I'm going to shoot the hood again just to try and knock him out of this game. And so you can just see here what the Alsace is just really good at, this constant aggressive pace. And the ability to just shift its weight around. Unlike what other tier 9 battleships have, is where they're kind of sluggish, the Alsace is just really fast and likes to move around a lot. So go ahead and take some shots at this New Orleans broadside tier 8 cruiser. Probably not the best idea to to have, so only get the bat gun off on him right there. He is pretty much full HP, and we'll go ahead and play the exact same damage we did on the York with the first cell of 13,090. It's a big hit. He can't afford to take shots like that. Push my friendly Pensacola out of the way, and it's a big lumbering battleship after all, so. Go ahead and take some more shots at New Orleans. He's really the only thing I can shoot at, and we're going to have a little bit of a lull in the fight here, as I am going to want to turn around and get towards B, because the enemy does have a 2-cap advantage over us, and I need to go ahead and get the push started. Did have the secondaries on the Fletcher right there. He popped up momentarily, and I forget to switch him over to the Yagumo here. It's not really a big deal, because the only secondaries that can damage the Yagumo are going to be those big 150s, and they don't really shoot that often, so. The secondaries really are more or less designed, unless you have IFHE, they're designed for countering battleships that bow into you, because those 15-inch guns just really can't do the job. But the secondaries, with their very high rate of fire, can set a ton of fires, get hundreds of secondary hits, and I'm not joking about that, hundreds of secondary hits in just under a minute, and it's crazy the volume of fire that you can just dump out with these things. Go ahead and swing my guns around, drop some shells on the enemy destroyer, get one hit. It's not much, but there's nothing else to shoot at, and damage is damage. I did leave that enemy New Orleans on about 1,000 health, so once he pops up, I do expect him to die. And I decide I'd rather not play with 2 Tier 9 destroyer torpedo boats, so I'm going to go ahead and push into B with my team. New Orleans does pop up, and I am going to take some shots at him. I'm not really expecting these to hit, because he is 19 kilometers away. And it's looking like I'm not going to get him, because he's turning out. Dispersion is not favoring me very well, and I am right. I do miss, but I do see my Ranger is going for him, because that's the target the carrier needs to get. A cruiser that can't heal on almost no health with a full torpedo squadron, but whatever. More power to him. He actually did play a pretty decent game for being a bottom tier CV, and you do have to give some confidence to him and the job he does spotting later. Take some shots at the Indianapolis. This dude will become a pain in my ass later in the game, and you will see at the end of the replay how he does that, so. Just going to keep, at this time, pushing on towards B. There's no real point in staying at C anymore. A lot of people make that mistake of once they get a cap, they kind of just stay there, and that's not what you really want to do. You want to be fighting and moving for better map position all the time. You don't want to be complacent with the cap that you have. My team did take B, but I do see that we are kind of a little vulnerable there. If the enemy team were to make a push with those destroyers, they could go ahead and just get these battleships out here. So I want to get my presence known, because especially since I have the broadside of these other battleships. Go ahead and take some shots at the Alsace. Get 9k. Not special, but he is pretty far away, and you can't expect that much at that range. You're not a Musashi or a Yamato shooting at him, so. At this time, I decide I'm going to go ahead and just go straight into B. There's no point in going at this angle anymore. Take some more shots at the Alsace and do a hard turn to starboard or the right, for those of us who don't know. I see some friendly torpedoes did go ahead and come in and nuke that North Cal for us, which is nice. He wasn't really that much of a threat, but getting him out of there is always helpful for the points that we need. Now, my team is winning on points and kills at this time, and if you look at the minimap, we do have 4 battleships on B, and that's all but one of them. We do have Big Fred somehow on the one line, but more power to him, I guess. So, gonna go ahead and keep pushing on this Alsace. He's broadside to me, and for some reason, I just can't get any rewarding volleys on him, but whatever. Sometimes you just get trolled by the French dispersion, and you kind of just have to play around with that. So, get another 4k on him with a full salvo. Again, you just kind of have to deal with it. Now, when I am pushing this cap, the one thing I'm wary of is these 3Ds will be launching torpedoes at me, and I'm going to have to try to dodge them the entire time I'm doing this push. I only have 1 heal left, and I don't want to have to waste it because I ate a whole bunch of torpedoes. I was going to shoot the Alsace, but the enemy DD pops up on full health, and I decide he needs to be whittled down, or else we're going to have a tough time dealing with him. So I do take some shots at him with just the front guns on. He does go dark after I shoot, and I do get 1 overpen on him. Nothing much, but 1,000 health on a DD is still going to be around 8% of his total health. So it's not hits he can afford to take. Alsace does pop up broadside on me. I do want to take a shot at here. I do have the secondary blazing away on him, and you can see they are just throwing a ton of shells up in the air, setting fire to the rockets. I wanted to shoot, but the guns don't reload in time, unfortunately, so I am just forced to just hold my fire. And so I do have 3 enemy destroyers on my right. The Akatsuki does not have any torpedoes loaded at this time, so I decided to go ahead and push closer to this island to get some better shots on the Suzumo, who does appear to be deciding that broadside best sighting is the way to go with this situation. So I aim at him, he goes dark momentarily, pops up again, take the shot, and not looking like it's going to be the best, but I am rewarded with a nice 3,000 damage salvo. That is pretty good. He return fires, only breaks one of my turrets, not permanently. It's annoying, but I did want to rep it, but with those 3 DDs, I can't take the risk of eating the blood, so I'm going to save that, and then just kind of tank it as it goes. So go ahead, and if you've noticed, this whole time I've been pushing on this side, I'm not sailing in a straight line. I am constantly turning, constantly evading, throwing my planes up, trying to just make it impossible for the enemies to land a perfect torpedo strike on them. Taking another shot at the Izumo just because I want to shoot at. Get a nice 2,000? Not really nice, is it? But go ahead and just keep pushing around him. I do decide, or look at the map and notice that we're not in a very good position because we just lost that Leon, and Pensacola is facing off against 3 ships at one time. The North Cal does go ahead and nuke the rest of that Izumo there because he was just, again, showing way too much side to us, so I notice we're going to lose C, and I have to make a decision here of go and kill those 2 enemy battleships and take A, as long as I also get the Hiryu, or try to go play with the DDs at C. And I decide that my best course of action is to go ahead and go through A, because we need that cap secured permanently. And once I get to the other side of A, I can use the Alsace's superior speed to get back into B and re-secure it if need be. So, because we really need these 3 ships dead, we've lost the lead and we're behind on kills, so it is a 6 dead ships on my team to 5 dead on the enemy team. I noticed that the enemy carrier is going to be coming forward, so me and this friendly North Cal, we do go ahead and get ready to shoot at him. Our big Fred does kill the Tirpitz down there, which is a great help for the team, does give the score and brings us back in the point lead. However, at the same time, we do lose our cap advantage, and we are going to need that back. The biggest problem that we have is most of our team is battleships, and most of the enemy team is destroyers, which is a really tough fight to handle. The enemy Hiryu is popping out at this time. Go ahead and pop my speed boost just to make sure I can get around these islands to get these shots off on them. And I do have to give compliments to this North Cal with me. He was a pretty good player, understood exactly what he needed to do. He has the same goal in mind as me. Go ahead and get this carrier killed and this cap secured. So he takes a shot at the Hiryu, gets a nice good 30k hit on him. I take another shot at him, and of course my shells only get 11k. So we leave this Hiryu on just around 6,000 health, and he's unfortunately going to survive. The secondaries, they do hit him, but they're not going to put enough shells downrange in order to finish him off completely. I set a fire, but I know he's going to rep it, so he's going to live on about 3,000 health. And hopefully one of us can get around and just get a good enough angle to shoot at him. I decide here I'm going to go ahead and just start going for this enemy Alsace, and that's what I'm using the speed boost for, and just pointing straight at him just to go as fast as possible and get him into secondary range. Because the main guns aren't going to do much to an angled ship. Looking at the map, I do see that our Amagi is facing off with the enemy Fletcher. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It really just depends on whether Amangi's loaded or not. Yeah, go ahead and shoot at the Alsace. Just get one little bounce, so again, it's just not going to be effective. I do see that the enemy Hiryu is trying to strike our DD, so, you know, kudos to him. That is what you should be doing. The enemy Fletcher does kill our Amagi, so we are back behind now, 4 ships to 6. That's pretty bad. But the Alsace on the enemy team does make a pretty big mistake. He goes pretty broadside to me, and I do get some good dispersion, knock him out right there. So that does save our Ranger from any threats. So I do notice that the North Cal is going to be coming up behind the Hiryu, so I'm no longer worried about him, and I am going to go get back to B as fast as possible, because that Yagumo and the Fletcher should be pushing on that B cap as soon as possible. I see the enemy planes coming in, but I realize that those torpedo bombers have already dropped their load, and I thought the dive bomber had as well, but then all of a sudden it's surprise. I go ahead and rep it because there's no fear from anything else coming after me, so I just leave it as it is. The enemy Hiryu does pop up momentarily, but the secondaries are still on him, and there's no need to even use the main battery. The secondaries are just going to delete them off the face of the map. There you go, close quarter expert right there. And we're just going to go ahead and, we've got the Fletcher spotted on the B cap. My carrier is doing a tremendous job of keeping him spotted. However, I do know that as a tier 7 Ranger, that Fletcher can and will eventually shoot down all of his planes. The Fletcher does have pretty decent AA, whereas unlike a Yagumo wouldn't be able to keep that. keep those planes off of him. He does drop some torps on him. They don't do anything, and I am trying to push around. He does get into secondary range, but I unfortunately don't have IFHE on this captain. It's not a fully trained up captain because I did move G-Truck to my Republic, just because I wasn't using all of his skills. So take a shot at the Fletcher. He's down to about 10,000 HP. He does drop torps at me, but because they are spotted by my friendly carrier, I can easily be able to dodge these. Get a nice 5k hit on him. The secondaries are taking him down. And it looks like the enemy here used last act was to go ahead and lock his fighters to his friendly destroyer, which actually was a great idea on his part because they do help get these dive bombers off of the enemy. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen in time. The Ranger does go ahead and sacrifice some planes to the AA because he wants to keep this guy spotted. I take another shot at him, and lo and behold, dispersion goes true, and I go ahead and leave him on 7 HP. But that's me, 7 HP just says, ooh, free close quarters expert. So I go ahead and keep those on him, get the close quarters and a Kraken range. And now we only have the enemy Akat and the Yagumo and that Indianapolis. Now I know the Akatsuki is at A, and the Yagumo just pops up on the minimap as well, so it's really just down to what this North Cal can do, and this is why I say he's kind of a legend in this game, because he does brave the storm, he does defend against 2 DDs, and yes, he had the carrier help, but you know, that is one battleship facing off these 2 torpedo boats. That can be pretty scary. So it's just me fighting this Indianapolis over here. I'm going to push him back out of sea and go towards it just to stop the enemy point gain. We did retake the lead. We are 4 ships to their 3. And remember, this was 4 ships to their 6 at one time. Indianapolis does go dark, so I keep having to turn at him and turn at the destroyer. So shoot at the Indianapolis. He's got 7,000 HP. I remember when I said this dude's going to be a pain in my ass. He's going to be a pain to deal with this entire game. I feel like every shot I shoot at him will do almost no damage. So he does go ahead and show broadside, get the back turret on him, and I am rewarded with some pretty decent dispersion. And what do I get once all those shells hit him? Yeah, that's right, 3 overpens. So he does go dark, playing the smart maneuver, and so I go ahead and decide I'm going to go and aim at those ZDs, try to see if I can help out my North Cal. See, the Akatsuki is on 400 health, and I'm wondering why he's not finished off, but remember, there's no such thing as a kill steal, because what if that dude goes dark and then Dev strikes my North Cal? Then we're losing points and we're losing caps. So go ahead and take a shot at him from 15 kilometers away. The Indianapolis does pop up again, but there's nothing I can do since I already shot at the Akatsuki. I do hit him once at 15 kilometers, so I pick up that 6th kill of the game. So now it's just me versus this Indianapolis. The Yagumo hasn't been spotted in a while, but the carrier is doing a great job keeping his planes over our North Cal to spot any torpedoes and any destroyers near him. And so, looks like this dude's going full speed, right? And so I take a shot at him, and apparently he's only going half speed or something. I just cannot hit this dude. Multiple salvos. It's actually going to take me 2 more salvos to even get this dude. He's just a little squirrely, but props to him for, you know, playing it out to the end, trying to get a full hull tier 9 battleship instead of just going dark and running away. So again, looks like he's just going full speed, turning in, showing too much side, and that's what I thought he was, so I overlead him again. I try to put some shots high as if he's going to turn out, and he does turn out, and it just looks like I'm a potato aim right now, because that's exactly what it is, just a giant potato. So I've caught on to what this dude's doing. He's going pretty slow. It looks like he's just going faster because he's in the open water. So I'm going to go ahead and take this next salvo and give it the dumbest amount of lead I can. It looks like I'm just going to undershoot him the entire time in my eyes. So I do go ahead and load the barrels. You can see, putting him like right above his ship. He does turn out, and the dispersion looks all right. And then I realize that those 2 shells are going to catch him, and they pop him with the kills. So, moving on to the screenshots for the battle. I do have here 567,000 credits, Confederate fireproof, 2 close quarters, a Dreadnought, Kraken Unleashed, and a high cal, 195k damage. Damage isn't that impressive, but moving forward, we are going to go ahead and see that the XP for this game is going to be pretty high. So it's a 3,071 base XP, compliments to that friendly North Cal on my team. He did play a hell of a game. So that's going to be it for today's replay. Thank you guys for watching till the end. This is Citizen. I do stream live on Twitch pretty much most days at 3 o'clock my time, which is Pacific Standard Time currently. So some days I do get on a little bit earlier, around noon. It just depends on my work schedule. So if you guys want to check me out there, the link will be in the description. If not, I will be back later, hopefully with something a little bit more diverse than just Alsace replays on this channel. But thank you all. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.